Here we are, Chef Daddy 9000, sending love, hope, and joy, and kindness out to everyone. Philosophy time. Some more from Gary Chapman's Love as a Way of Life. The meaning of authentic love. The meaning of the word love is often confused because the word is used in so many different ways. Every day we hear people say things like, I love the beach, I love the mountains, I love New York, I love my dog, I love my new car, I love my mother. On a romantic evening, they will say, I love you. People even talk about falling in love. Imagine that. I sometimes want to ask, how far do you fall? And what does it feel like when you hit the ground? Love is not an emotion that comes over us or an elusive goal dependent on the actions of others. Authentic love is something within our capabilities, originating in our attitudes and culminating in our actions. If we think of love as a feeling, we shall be frustrated when we can't always work up that feeling. When we realize that love is primarily an action, we are ready to use the tools we have to love better. Authentic love brings out our authentic selves, the people we want to become. Authentic love is as simple and as real as the kind of love it takes to listen to an employee who is having a difficult day, to take your kids out for a back-to-school dinner in August, to donate money to the local fire department, to compliment a friend, to give your spouse a back rub before bed, or to clean the kitchen for your roommate when you are already tired from a long day of work. Authentic love might be as bold as the kind of love that motivates people like Ruby Jones of New Orleans. This 67-year-old nurse chose to ride out Hurricane Katrina when her 8 dying patients in the hospice unit at the Linda Boggs Medical Center when the storm hit the shores of her city. Don't try to be Superwoman, her children told her. Ruby was just trying to do her duty. She reported to work on Sunday and did not leave until Thursday when her patients were evacuated. As the storm broke windows and blew out doors, she told her patients, "We are here with you. We aren't going to leave." When the medical center lost power and drinking water and began flooding, Jones continued to bathe and feed her charges and dress their wounds. When she left on Thursday after her patients had been evacuated, she was hungry and thirsty, but she had kept her promise to stay with her patients until the end. During the most harrowing moments, love for her patients sustained her. Recently, I visited a 52-year-old mother of 5 who was dying of cancer. I had observed her life for many years and found her to be one of the most loving people I had ever met. She faced death with realism, yet a positive spirit. I won't forget what she told me. I've taught my children how to live. Now I want to teach them how to die. Authentic love sees even death as an opportunity to love others. It's true that those who live lives of love are not exempt from the difficulties of life. If you have been told that love will alleviate all your problems, you were misinformed. History shows us that many people, even the most loving, not only have suffered earthquakes, floods, tornadoes, hurricanes, automobile accidents, sickness, and other afflictions, but have been persecuted for advocating a life of love. How can a person endure such pain and still desire to pursue a love-filled life? Sometimes it is in the midst of difficulty that we find our greatest opportunities to experience and share love. One of the beautiful things about living a love-filled life is that we are not dependent on circumstances for our satisfaction. We find joy in our choice to love others, whether or not they love us in return, and whether or not circumstances go the way we want them to. Love might be accomplished by feelings of compassion for those who we are helping. But first, love is an attitude that says, I choose to focus my life on helping others. When we love authentically, we realize how radical true love can be. Love is enough to change a superpower. For example, by taking care of the poor and loving even their enemies, Christians in the first few centuries overcame a decaying, self-centered culture. They began by loving one another in small ways, sharing possessions and food, and showing compassion to women, children, and marginalized people. The power-hungry, decadent culture of the Roman Empire accepted the new sect largely because observers said, "See how they love one another." Serving others goes against the cultural norm of giving so that we can get. We might not fit into the world around us when we set out to love others, but authentic love gives us the opportunity to discover deeper joy than ordinary ways of the world can give. All this may sound good, but in a world of constant conflict does love stand a chance? Our newspaper and television screens are filled daily with reports of inhumanity towards one another, much of it perpetuated in the name of religion or out of personal greed. Watch any talk show and you will see that we have lost the art of meaningful dialogue. Any news program will remind us that we have little respect for those who disagree with us. Politicians and religious leaders seem to be in attack mode most of the time and are rarely willing to listen to one another. I believe that not only does love stand a chance in the world, but in fact, it is our only chance. If we can come to respect one another as fellow humans who need one another and to choose to look out for one another's well-being, the potential for good is unlimited. If we fail to do so, we shall lose our dignity and we shall use the technological advances of the last 50 years to destroy one another. If we are going to solve the problems of our global society, we need respect and meaningful dialogue to flow from love. Is buying a homeless woman a bowl of soup, or taking your daughter to the park, or driving a coworker to the mechanic when his car breaks down really going to make a difference in the world? The answer is an overwhelming yes. We might have loftier ideas of what it means to love, such as making a grand sacrifice of time or money or even giving our lives, but why should we be willing to die for someone when we won't fill up the gas tank for her? Every trait of authentic love begins with small things. If all of us become authentic lovers, we can make a difference in a world of turmoil. Love is not only realistic, but our only hope for survival. If you truly want to love someone, begin in small ways.